Abigail sat at her desk at the Spiritual Sage Guild's office, a branch of the ever-expanding foundry. As the clerk, she'd just finished another phone call, the fifth this week, from a business owner inquiring about a guild member's status. The constant stream of calls was a testament to the guild's growing influence and reputation for trustworthiness in the business community. As she hung up the phone, she turned to Clarence, one of the guild's board members, who was casually shuffling through a deck of tarot cards. "This is the fifth business owner this week," she remarked, unable to keep the hint of concern from her voice. "Cool, huh?" Clarence responded, adjusting his tie with an air of nonchalance that irked Abigail. She pressed on. "You're not very interested in these matters. Have they reported anything we should be aware of?" Clarence asked, his tone suggesting he already knew the answer. "Well, no, but..." Abigail hesitated, then decided to address the elephant in the room. "What happens when someone tries to bribe us?" Clarence's gaze sharpened. "Has anyone ever tried to bribe you?" "Well, no, but..." "Then there's nothing to worry about," Clarence interrupted, his confidence unwavering. Abigail cleared her throat, trying to mask the fact that the possibility of a bribery had kept her awake for the past few months. "If there's businesses associated with this guild, you have to expect that money will be on the table and under the table." Clarence's response took an unexpected turn. "Mrs. Abigail, I fully expect other guilds to be susceptible, but I'm one of the reasons it's highly unlikely for this foundry. The members of this guild won't fall into depravity." "Because you're well taken care of?" Abigail ventured. "Yes," Clarence began. "All of these bodily needs are taken care of. But do you know the real reason why they could never tempt me with money?" Abigail considered lying but opted for honesty. "No." "Why?" "Because I have seen both extremes. I have seen poverty and wealth you couldn't imagine. I exist primarily in the spirit world. I'm only an archetype." Abigail's skepticism flared. "He's bad shit," she thought, but outwardly she responded with a non-committal, "I see." Clarence, however, wasn't finished. "You're satisfied rather easily. I haven't explained this archetype." "What archetype?" Abigail asked, reminding herself that she needed to keep Clarence happy to keep her job. "I exist as Neptune. I can't have Neptune being corrupted. I represent more than Neptune for myself, but as a leader of the spiritual guild, I represent Neptune for this foundry. I only owe Neptune as an archetype." As Clarence spoke, Abigail felt the familiar tension between her practical nature and the guild's spiritual leanings. She knew the board members were different, selective about temptations, but this level of mysticism was new to her. Yet she reminded herself that her role was simply to do the job, not to question or change the guild's integrity. In that moment, surrounded by the trappings of a spiritual organization she didn't truly believe in, Abigail realized the irony of her situation. Here she was, a skeptic in a world of believers, clinging to a job that was a financially appealing option. As Clarence continued his ethereal monologue, Abigail nodded along, her mind already drifting to the next phone call, the next inquiry, the next step in maintaining her precarious position in the strange, expanding world of the foundry.